Okay, in this lesson here, we're going to continue on with our tutorial in JavaScript programming, and we'll go ahead and use our programming paradigm where we get some input, we do some processing, we send some output. Input, of course, is right now we're using message boxes. We'll use the prompt method for that, and in output we'll use the alert. We'll also look at how we'll do a calculation here. We'll use a little bit of some simple mathematics operators. All right, so let me get prepared here. I need to create a new text document again. I'll call this lesson 5.3.htm. All right. 3a. I already have one called 5.3. Okay. So one of the things that we're finding is that we're duplicating a lot of code here. And in other words, there's certain components of this that I use over and over again. So for instance, I always put the HTML tag in. I always put a body in. In this particular case, I've been putting my script in the same place too. So my script is going at the top of my HTML document. And it's redundancy, and it takes my time. And if I want to become more efficient with this, one of the common strategies used by programmers is reusability of code or recycling their code. So I could take this chunk of code that I've typed in here and I could save it, and then next time I want to put together another short program using these same concepts, I have a framework for it. Okay, that might be a time saver for us. I'll go ahead and type this out here just to go ahead and document everything. Speaking of documentation, I need to put some comments in here, so I'm going to put my name in. And this is going to be, what's today here? We'll stick with May 1st. And this is going to be lesson 5.3. And the problem I'm going to solve is now what we're trying to do with this is we're always trying to solve problems. Is I'm just going to do a small calculation that will allow me to do a conversion. And we'll say from days to seconds. Okay, so a user can enter in the number of days, and then our little piece of software here is going to return how many seconds are encapsulated in those number of days. Okay, so how many seconds are in 10 days, for instance. All right, so let me go down here to my body. I'm going to put some text out there, and I'll use a quick copy and paste here. Okay, save that. Let's just make sure it all runs. Okay. All right, so there it is, lesson 5.3, conversion from days to seconds. Now let's write some code. All right, so I have my script here, and I'm really not doing anything with it. And again, our paradigm, we want to get input, and then we want to send output. We're going to do some processing in the middle there. All right, so first thing, let me go ahead and put in a prompt statement. And what my user is going to enter is a number of days, so I need to create a couple of variables here. All right, so if he's going to enter a number of days, that would make a nice variable name, so I'll declare a variable, and I'll take whatever input comes from the prompt method, and I will store that in the variable days. It goes in quotes and the parentheses. All right, so right now we have a variable we've declared named days, and then we're receiving input from the prompt method, and I'll just go ahead and run that once and see how it pans out for us. Okay, so I'll refresh over here. It says enter the number of days. Okay, so I put in my 10 days. And then it doesn't do anything, of course, after that. Okay, so we got input and we're ready to do some processing now. Okay, so we want to go back over to our code. All right, the next thing in our algorithm here is going to be a conversion. All right, so we want to convert from days to seconds. And in fact, as I go through this, let me also put a second variable in there, declare a second variable called seconds. All right, what we'll do with seconds, so we'll assign it. Well, how do we calculate this? Okay, how many days? If you have a day here, there's 24 hours in a day, and every hour has 60 minutes, and every minute has 60 seconds. So our calculation, if we take the number of days and multiply it by 24 hours in a day times 60 minutes in an hour times 60 seconds in a minute, terminate that. That should do a conversion for us. All right. So next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and send that information back out. We did our input, we did our processing. Now let's do our output. So I'm going to send an alert out. I'll do this a little bit more elegantly, and I'll say days string concatenation. So if we put in 1 day, contains our string concatenation, however many seconds are in that, okay, so let's examine the statement. All right, and all we're doing is send an alert, and then we're doing a bunch of text concatenations here. So we're going to say alert, and then whatever is assigned to days will be displayed, and we'll concatenate that with the text space day parentheses s space contains, and then our space and a parentheses, and then we'll concatenate that with whatever's value is stored in seconds, and then the word seconds. Okay, so let's save that, and let's make sure we didn't make any syntax errors here. We'll go ahead and fire it up. Okay, and let's just make a simple one we maybe calculate in our head. So if we take 1, multiply that by 24, and then multiply that by 60 and 60, right? There's 86,400 seconds in a day. Is that correct? Well, let's check that. Use a calculator here. My standard calculator. So if I take 24 times 60 times 60, okay, we have the correct answer there. All right, so our software works. And look at how we've documented this too. So we can actually, the user can actually take a look at this and say, okay, 1 day contains 86,400 seconds.